The Saaf Museum at Air Force Base Swartkop is one of the oldest military bases in the world, in fact. The beauty of this particular Air Force Base is that it's open to the public almost every day of the week. The museum is based at Swartkop's Air Base on the old Pretoria Road opposite the Air Force Gymnasium. It is an active air base because there are a couple of helicopter squadrons and indeed the Harvard Club of South Africa. Once a year the museum has a fantastic air show, always in May. Way back in 1969, the Mirage 3 was the active aircraft involved in number 2 Squadron. And the models there were the Mirage 3 BZ, which was the trainer version, then the CZ, which was a fighter version, then a later fighter version called the EZ, and finally the version called an RZ, which R stood for reconnaissance, and that's the one with the cameras in it. The Mirage 3 became dated to the next generation fighter called the Mirage F1. The Fieseler Storch is a very interesting member of the family. Probably 10 or 12 years ago, this aircraft was actually airworthy, but now I see it's rendered as a static display. The original Silver Falcons flew Impalas, and the example is in fact one of the Silver Falcons in the Silver Falcons colors. Now the Impala was assembled under the Italian supervision by the Atlas Aircraft Corporation, which later became Denel, and in fact in itself was a whole industry. The museum depends largely on donations from the public as well as a huge core of volunteer people who come in on the weekends and in the evenings to work on aircraft completely free of charge, and they do this work out of the love for the museum and to keep these graceful old birds in pristine condition. The de Havilland Vampire, powered by a Rolls-Royce Goblin engine, was indeed one of the very first jet-engined fighter in the South African Air Force. And what is actually interesting about the Vampire is it's all made of plywood, or most of it. And there's one example in the Saaf Museum that's completely airworthy and is shown off at various air shows, and in particular at the Saaf Museum Air Show.